Texts. Khuddhaka Nikàya. -2. Kulavagga the Lesser Chapter. Ratana Sutta, Treasures. Translated from the Pali by Thanissaro Bhikkhu. Whatever spirits have gathered here, on the earth, in the sky, may you all be happy. And listen intently to what I say. Thus, spirits, you should all be attentive.
Show kindness to the human race. Day and night they give offerings. So, being heedful, protect them. Whatever wealth here or beyond, whatever exquisite treasure in the heavens, does not, for us, equal the Tathagata.
This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Buddha. By this truth may there be well-being. The exquisite deathless ending, dispassion. Discovered by the Sakyan Sage in concentration. There is nothing to equal that Dhamma. This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Dhamma. By this truth may there be well-being. What the excellent awakened one extolled as pure, and called the concentration of unmediated knowing.
No equal to that concentration can be found. This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Dhamma. By this truth may there be well-being. The 8 persons, the 4 pairs, praised by those at peace. They, disciples of the one well gone, deserve offerings. What is given to them bears great fruit.
This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Sangha. By this truth may there be well-being. Those who, devoted, firm-minded, apply themselves to Gautama's message, on attaining their goal, plunge into the deathless, freely enjoying the liberation they've gained. This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Sangha. By this truth may there be well-being.
An Indra pillar, planted in the earth, that even the 4 winds cannot shake. That, I tell you, is like the person of integrity, who having comprehended the noble truths sees.
This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Sangha. By this truth may there be well-being. Those who have seen clearly the noble truths, well taught by the one of deep discernment, regardless of what, later, might make them heedless, will come to know 8th state of becoming. This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Sangha.
By this truth may there be well-being. At the moment of attaining sight, one abandons 3 things: identity views, uncertainty, and any attachment to precepts and practices. One is completely released from the 4 states of deprivation, and incapable of committing the 6 great wrongs.
This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Sangha. By this truth may there be well-being. Whatever bad deed one may do, in body, speech, or in mind, one cannot hide it. An incapability ascribed to one who has seen the way. This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Sangha.
By this truth may there be well-being. Like a forest grove with flowering tops, in the first month of the heat of the summer, so is the foremost Dhamma he taught, for the highest benefit, leading to unbinding. This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Buddha. By this truth may there be well-being. Foremost knowing, foremost giving, foremost bringing, unexcelled, he taught the foremost Dhamma.
This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Buddha. By this truth may there be well-being. Ended the old, there is no new taking birth. Dispassioned their minds toward further becoming. They, with no seed, no desire for growth. The prudent, go out like this flame.
This, too, is an exquisite treasure in the Sangha. By this truth may there be well-being. Whatever spirits have gathered here, on the earth, in the sky, let us pay homage to the Buddha, the Tathagata worshipped by beings, human and divine. May there be well-being.
Whatever spirits have gathered here, on the earth, in the sky, let us pay homage to the Dhamma, and the Tathagata worshipped by beings, human and divine. May there be well-being.
Whatever spirits have gathered here. On the earth, in the sky. Let us pay homage to the Sangha. And the Tathagata worshipped by beings. Human and divine. May there be well-being.
Raw stench. According to SNA, this poem is a dialogue between a Brahmin ascetic, Tissa, and the previous Buddha, Kassapa, who unlike our Buddha, Gautama was born into the Brahmin caste. Tissa. Those peacefully eating millet, Job's tears, green gram. Leaf fruit, tuber fruit, water chestnut fruit. Obtained in line with the Dhamma. Don't desire sensual pleasures. Or tell falsehoods.
But when eating what is well made, well prepared, exquisite, given, offered by others. When consuming cooked rice, Kassapa, one consumes a raw stench. Yet you, kinsman of Brahma, say,
raw stench is not proper for me. While consuming cooked rice. And the well-prepared fleshes of birds. So I ask you, Kassapa, the meaning of that. Of what sort is raw stench for you?
The Buddha Kassapa. Killing living beings. Hunting, cutting, binding. Theft, lying, fraud, deceptions. Useless recitations.
Hiri Sutta, conscience. Translated from the Pali by Thanissaro Bhikkhu. One who, flouting, despising, a sense of conscience, saying, I am your friend, but not grasping what he could do to help, know him as not my friend.
One who, among friends, speaks endearing words, to which he doesn't conform. The wise recognize, as speaking without doing, he's not a friend. Who's always wary, suspecting a split, focusing just on your weakness.
But him on whom you can depend. Like a child on its parent's breast. That's a true friend. Whom others can't split from you. Carrying one's manly burden. The fruits and rewards develop. The conditions that make for joy. The bliss that brings praise.
Drinking the nourishment. The flavor. Of seclusion and calm. One is freed from evil, devoid of distress. Refreshed with the nourishment of rapture in the Dhamma.
Mahamangala Sutta, protection. Translated from the Pali by Thanissaro Bhikkhu. I have heard that at one time the Blessed One was staying in Savatthi at Jita's grove, Anathapindika's monastery. Then a certain Deva, in the far extreme of the night, her extreme radiance lighting up the entirety of Jita's grove, approached the Blessed One. On approaching, having bowed down to the Blessed One, she stood to one side. As she stood to one side, she addressed him with a verse.
Many devas and human beings give thought to protection, desiring well-being. Tell, then, the highest protection.
The Buddha. Not consorting with fools. Consorting with the wise. Paying homage to those worthy of homage. This is the highest protection. Living in a civilized land. Having made merit in the past. Directing oneself rightly.
This is the highest protection. Broad knowledge, skill. Well-mastered discipline. Well-spoken words. This is the highest protection.
Support for one's parents. Assistance to one's wife and children. Consistency in one's work. This is the highest protection. Giving, living in rectitude. Assistance to one's relatives. Deeds that are blameless.
This is the highest protection. Avoiding, abstaining from evil. Refraining from intoxicants. Being heedful of the qualities of the mind. This is the highest protection. Respect, humility. Contentment, gratitude. Hearing the Dhamma on timely occasions. This is the highest protection.
Patience, compliance. Seeing contemplatives. Discussing the Dhamma on timely occasions.
This is the highest protection. Austerity, celibacy. Seeing the noble truths. Realizing unbinding. This is the highest protection.
A mind that, when touched by the ways of the world, is unshaken, sorrowless, dustless, at rest. This is the highest protection. Everywhere undefeated. When acting in this way, people go everywhere in well-being. This is their highest protection.
Susaloma. This sutta is identical with SN 10:3. I have heard that on one occasion the Blessed One was staying in Gaya at Akadamaka, the haunt of Susaloma, needle hair, the Yaka. And on that occasion Kara, rough, the Yaka and Susaloma the Yaka passed by not far from the Blessed One. Kara the Yaka said to Susaloma the Yaka, "That's a contemplative." "That's not a contemplative. That's a fake contemplative." "I'll find out whether that's a contemplative or a fake contemplative." So Susaloma the Yaka approached the Blessed One and on arrival leaned his body up against the Blessed One. The Blessed One leaned his body away. So Susaloma the Yaka said to the Blessed One, "Are you afraid of me, contemplative?"
No, I'm not afraid of you, friend, just that your touch is evil. I will ask you a question, contemplative. If you can't answer me, I will hurl out your mind or rip open your heart or, grabbing you by the feet, hurl you across the Ganges. My friend, I see no one in the cosmos with its Devas, Maras, and Brahmas, in this generation with its contemplatives and Brahmins, its royalty and common folk, who could hurl out my mind or rip open my heart or, grabbing me by the feet, hurl me across the Ganges. But nevertheless, ask me what you wish. So Susaloma the Yaka addressed the Blessed One in verse.
Passion and aversion come from what cause? Displeasure, delight, horripilation are born from what? Arising from what? Do thoughts fling the mind around? As boys, a captive crow.
The Buddha. Passion and aversion come from this one as a cause. Displeasure, delight, horripilation are born from this. Arising from this. Thoughts fling the mind around. As boys, a captive crow.
They're born from affection. Arisen from the mind. From oneself. Like the trunk-borne shoots of a banyan tree. Thick, attached to sensuality. Like a maluva vine spread in a forest. Those who discern where it's born. Drive it out, listen, Yaka. They cross over this flood. So hard to cross. Never crossed before. For the sake of no further becoming.
The Dhamma life. Living the Dhamma life. Living the holy life. This, they say, is the highest power. But if, having gone forth from home into homelessness, you are harsh-mouthed, delighting in injury, a stupid beast, your life is more evil.
You increase your own dust. A monk delighting in quarrels. Shrouded under delusion. Doesn't know the Dhamma. Even when proclaimed by the awakened one. Injuring those developed in mind one. He, surrounded by ignorance. Doesn't know defilement. To be the path that leads to hell.
Arriving at deprivation. From womb to womb. From darkness to darkness. A monk of this sort, after death, comes to suffering. Just like a cesspit, full, used for many years. One of this sort, befouled, would be hard to clean.
Monks, whoever you know. To be like this. Depending on homes. Evil in his desires. Evil in his resolves. Evil in behavior and range. All of you, united, shun him.
Sweep away the sweepings. Throw away the trash. Then remove the chaff. Non-contemplatives. Who think they're contemplatives. Having swept away those of evil desires, evil in behavior and range. Then pure, affiliate mindfully with the pure. Then, united, astute. You will put an end to suffering and stress. Point 2.
Brahman principles. I have heard that on one occasion the Blessed One was staying near Savatthi in Jita's grove, Anthapika's monastery. Then many Kosalan Brahmins of great means, old, aged, advanced in years, having come to the last stage of life, approached the Blessed One. On arrival, they exchanged courteous greetings with him. After an exchange of friendly greetings and courtesies, they sat to one side. As they were sitting there, they said to him, Master Gautama, do Brahmins at present live in conformity with the Brahman principles of ancient Brahmins?